Hey guys, this is KSP with Tape, and today you join me for episode 9 of KSP Space Race, and today we start with a couple of inclination changes, and fine-tunes, I guess, is what they really are, for our two Icarus probes, bound for Moho, which will be landing on the surface and returning as a bounty of science, so that we can, hopefully get to warp drive before the evil beardy penguin. I don't know why he's evil, but he is. Although it's a space race, so I guess we're having a missile contest. Although I haven't really put any effort into my rockets, I didn't even make them reusable, which was in retrospect foolish, but it's really, it takes so much work, and these always seem to take ages to record anyways, so yeah. So anyway, we're just burning this. Luckily this is the good probe, Icarus 2, which doesn't do that annoying failure to transfer fuel thing. I don't know, it's just better, basically. So yeah, this is going to get on its course, and it's going to arrive first in this episode, actually. And we'll get our science. And yes, there we are, heading on to Moho. Yes, so once we've made sure that is all in position, which it looks pretty good, yeah, 32 kilometers, and we can get into orbit with very little delta V, which is really lucky. So yeah, now we just need to go and do the other one. I'll just show you clips of this because it's literally the same thing. But yeah, this one has slightly less fuel, and it's for some reason has a much heftier burn to slow down at Moho. But anyway, here we are just finishing off the burn, and that is that. So yes, we have a launch today, because in a little bit there is going to be an Eve window, and I would very much like to hit that. I'm not sure if the series is even going to be still running by the time I get to Eve, but I need to try. So I've designed something that will go to Eve, do science and orbit, something that will break off, land in the atmosphere of Eve, and then another little bit will go on to Gilly. So we'll get lots of science if this does indeed make it to Eve. On top of a 3-stage rocket, a pretty standard looking ordeal. And yeah. I just thought I might as well launch this in this episode. I think I'll actually be sending it on in the next episode, but but the transfer window takes place in Penguin's turn, I think. So I'll just send it off. Yeah, kind of next episode, I think. Anyway, so yeah, here we are just pushing it into orbit. We're going to have a bunch of fuel left over on the second stage, actually. So we're going to have like just infinite delta V. But yeah, so that's always good, to have more delta V than you need so that you can do more things. So yeah, that's that. But something I left in orbit of the moon last episode, Titan 1. I'm going to use it to go and grab a couple of Kerbals and bring them home, hopefully safely. So yeah, we're going to go fetch this this guy. Just going to do a bit of a, well, I guess we're ahead of him, so do a prograde burn and an inclination change. But we'll do the inclination change further away from the moon. So yeah. But while that's happening, yeah, I guess just, I kind of want to talk about this new series Penguin's been mentioning a lot. We are planning it, this kind of World War II, well, World War I and World War II kind of series that'll take place in a small bit of Kerbin. I know I've mentioned it a little bit, but I think it's going to be really awesome. I mean, I'm creating some custom bases with the Kerbal Constructs editor. Surprisingly easy. I thought I was going to have to change like a bunch of configuration files. And I was like, oh god, this is gonna suck, why did I say I'd do this? But then, yeah, there is just an editor, so you can just like move these base parts around. It's really cool, so I've already worked on one of them. So yeah, we're gonna have like a awesome big-ass battle and sick Navy battles. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be very different rules from collaborative warfare. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of craft launch, a lot of planes. You get multiple each turn, and same with boats and things. It's going to be more focused on the battles, I think, so that'll be quite cool. We might have some Fury situations or some Saving Private Kermans, although I guess they're all Private Kerman, mostly, so, I mean, that'll be quite difficult, really. I just have to go and find every Kerbal and be like, are you in need of rescue? No? Oh. Okay, we'll find another one. Anyway, so we've rescued our first Kerbal. We're going to throw him into... That's not a door, bro. That's a door. I thought that little bit was a door, but it's not. But yeah, this was the spacecraft that kind of saved... the what do you even call it, the moon spacecraft from last episode. So I left it here so we could rescue some Kerbals and make a little money, and hopefully we'll be able to return it safely. It has tons of delta V because nuclear engines. Yeah, oh yeah, this kind of intersect things being kind of screwy, as it often is, because I think it's because it tells you that where your orbits intersect, not your closest approach, which is kind of annoying. Closest approach would seem better, really, but I guess maybe harder to calculate? I don't know, I can't see inside the mind of developers, although that would be interesting. Why do you keep making those games, Ubisoft? Well, I actually know that it's because money, and I don't know why people don't get that, and they're like, why do you make these games that are all the same? Because you keep buying them. And actually, there's a lot of solid Call of Duty games when you think about it. 1 through 7 were pretty good. I mean, because that goes right up to... I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, which are whatever, and then there's what... I don't know why I'm talking about this mid... You can see what's happening. I just need something else to talk about. But yeah, 1 through 3, pretty good. 4 was Modern Warfare, amazing. World at War, just incredible. Modern Warfare 2, that was the one that really kicked it off crazily. Then Black Ops, I never played that, but I've heard original Black Ops was good. Modern Warfare 3, I actually really liked the story of. And then after that, it kind of all went to hell. Although I kind of do like Advanced Warfare because the jetpacks are interesting. So, I mean, say what you will about Call of Duty, they've made a lot of very solid games. I mean, they know what they're doing. Anyway, or maybe I will have to play. Oh, I'm not really a space game channel. I just play Kerbal Space Program. But it would be interesting to play the Call of Duty Space Marine bad shoot space people. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not sure. But it might be cool, although I'm sure all the physics are terrible. But you wouldn't want it to be realistic physics. That would make a terrible shooter. But if you are doing the film Gravity, where you're kind of selling yourself on this realistic looking space, get the physics right. I will never stop hating Gravity, although maybe I was just mad because I was on a plane. Anyway, yeah, so here we are. What we're doing here is slowing down with our engines so that we don't have to hit the atmosphere really hard, because we have a lot of fragile bits because it's a plane. And I should probably stop making my wings out of all these small wings. I should get some big heat-resistant wings or something, because, yeah, it's a bit problematic. But, yeah, we've got tons of Delta V. We can slow down. We've got our 2 Kerbals on board now, which you saw being rescued, as I talked about how Call of Duty's actually pretty good sometimes. Except maybe a couple of those new ones. Yeah, Ghosts was kind of like dying. Yeah. Anyway, I should do more of those Call of Duty permadeaths where I play Call of Duty 5 on hardcore and then just on veteran and just do it at permadeath. Those were good. But anyway, yeah, so we are bringing our orbit down slowly. We've got tons of life support, actually. These pods hold a surprising amount. I'm going to have a sip of water. My mouth is all dry from talking about Call of Duty. Yeah, my body is just like, stop talking about it. People will hate you. Anyway, yes, so I'm just going to circularize my orbit so that I can pick where I land. That's another thing. I didn't want to just kind of land anywhere because... Well, I kind of need a runway because it's a plane. That's a problem with plane-like spacecraft, is they're not great because you need a runway. That's the problem with the shuttle, was you couldn't... Because, like, the things that, like, the Soyuz can land anywhere. I mean, because it can land on land. They can pretty much land on water, I guess. And obviously Dragon 2 is like a better version of that. And then there's the Boeing spacecraft, which I guess is cool, but it's not really anything new, I don't think. I mean, it carries 7 people. But it lands on parachutes, which is kind of like crashing. But anyway, yes, here we are in the atmosphere, trying to slow down a bit, and we're already heating up, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, the cockpit heats up like crazy. I should probably stop using these cockpits. I don't think it's very heat resistant, which is weird because I used to use these for space shuttles in a very old series. I think it was Solar Civilization. God, that was a great series. I reused rockets in that as well. And there were fighters in that. I don't know why, but you know, sometimes you just gotta spice it up. But yeah, there will be many a fighter in our new series, in Destroyers. We've been discussing ships very in-depth. Well, actually, Penguin's been just telling me all these things for ships, and I'm like, yep, that sounds good. You seem to have this nailed. He's good at planning series. I'm just good at saying yes and agreeing, and making suggestions that are usually wrong. Like, yeah, I should read more about ships. They do interest me, but I in a very kind of... I'll watch a documentary sometime sort of way. Anyway, so, yeah, her cockpit explodes, so the Kerbals are dead. But they're still there, somehow. You can see. They even still exist. I can even EVA them. But yeah, I lost like 150 grand because of that, because it exploded. I can get the Kerbal out. They're alive, somehow. But I still get sued. But anyway, I decided to ditch that Kerbal since he is clearly a phantom. And we don't like phantom Kerbals because they're bad people, as you all know, from Phantom of the Kerbal Space Program. That'd be great. I have just had a great idea for a video. Anyway, we land most of the plane and recover it, but we didn't get any money back for it, so fuck you, KSP. But anyway, so we're going to launch another one of these because it goes so well all the time. But this one won't be coming back. This is just hauling a really big engine into solar orbit so that we can test it and get paid for it. Yeah, I've had this mission for ages because I thought it was like launch the KW Maverick engine. I was like, oh, I know what that is. That's that tiny little engine. Nope. Nope, that's not the one. It's the bigger one, the Maverick 5. So I haven't been able to do it for ages because it's a really heavy engine. So I'm just going to haul it all the way into solar orbit and test it. It seems like something to be good for these SSTOs because they have a pretty good payload to orbit and not quite as good as a rocket. So I didn't want to waste a rocket launch on it. Yeah, what have I done with Moho? Oh yeah, I launched an Eve probe, and I will be going to the moon to do lots of fun science. But yes, you know what these launches look like, so we will cut through it to here, where we switch over to rocket mode and push our way into orbit. I totally didn't just edit that on the fly. Yeah, so basically we've just got that engine in there. And I did bring a tiny little can of fuel just in case I needed it, but apparently my rockets just used it, even though I told them not to, by, you know, clicking the buttons on the fuel tank. But yeah, I'm just going to push our way into orbit. It's a pretty light payload. Did I say heavy? I meant light. I get those things confused. I get opposites confused a lot. But yeah, but I don't know why I kept any oxidizer in the tanks. I'm not going to be landing anywhere, so I don't really need it. So yeah, I imagine I'll just use it for getting into orbit. Yeah, here we go. Just burn it all off because I don't need it anymore. And then maybe for escaping as well, we'll just go on our way. I almost put crew in here, actually. I was about to launch before I was like, fuck, there's crew in here, I don't want to send them to die, so I had to pull them out. But yes, we're just going to do a couple of passes and escape. It doesn't really matter where I go, because I just want to leave. But if there's enough fuel, maybe I will go somewhere. But I wasn't really thinking about that at this point. I was thinking, I just downloaded Deadbolt. I really want to play Deadbolt. Deadbolt's great. Basically, it's, I played Gunpoint. And now I've been watching Tom Francis's devlogs and videos, and then I saw him playing Deadbolt. I was like, that looks amazing, so here's my new spirit guide. I don't know what a spirit guide is, or what a spirit animal is, but I think, I've said before that CGP Grey is my spirit animal. I think that's a dumb Harry Potter thing, but, you know, well, so just a Harry Potter thing. Oh, zing! Anyway, so we launched this rocket, and it kind of gets jolted by all the landing struts, because those don't get automatically recovered, so we're on a bit of a, bit of a slant, but yeah. Yeah, but we're going to launch to the moon with a kind of like the one we launched last episode, except this one actually has parachutes, which I thought was a really good upgrade. I think parachutes are quite essential when you need to come back to Earth on parachutes, or Kerbin. I mean, if we come back to Earth, that'd be impressive, because this isn't even the same universe, and it's in my computer. I don't know how that would even work. But anyway, yes, it is basically the same spacecraft, because it is actually pretty effective. Forgot to put an antenna on there again, so I won't be able to get impact science, which is annoying. And I also have a trouble with impact science later on Moho, but you'll see that. But yes, we'll just push our way into orbit and head on to the moon. I'm going to go for the poles and the polar crater. I'm just going to do 2 jumps this time, because last time I did 3 and Bill Kerman died, so I think I'm just going to do 2, would be smart. So yeah, that'll be good. And we're going to go to the north pole, the poles and the northern crater. Although I probably could have jumped to the northern basin, but we'll see all of that in a little bit. I'm just going to have some more water. I started drinking green tea, actually. That's really good. Like maybe green tea and lemon, or green tea and jasmine. It's quite good. I've always been a coffee person. I don't really like normal British tea, because that would make me far too British, which I aspire not to be. No, Britain's a great place. Oh, well, it's getting worse, but it was a great place once. But yeah, it's gotten shittier over the past few months. We've got a new Prime Minister who doesn't believe in global warming, so I don't really care if I piss anyone off by saying I don't even know what I want to say, but fuck her, basically. But yeah, female Prime Minister, that's good. Went well last time. No, that's obviously not the problem. The problem is that she is a moron and just an awful, 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 awful person. So yeah, and she wasn't voted in. So this is undemocratic. Although we had that big democratic thing before, so I mean, I guess it balances out. So yeah, Canada, open up some space, please. Or Denmark. I think if we ever go to Mars, we should let Denmark have control over all of that. They've got stuff going pretty well, although they do club seals. I mean, obviously not all of them. It's not like a sport. Maybe it is. I don't really know. I don't even know if they do club seals. That's just something people say. I listen to what people say, because why not? Just realised that wasn't sped up. It was kind of looking a little boring. But yes, we're getting into a polar orbit, of course, so that we can land in the poles. And yeah, it'd be pretty good. Yeah, we're gonna probably hopefully land on the crater first, but I think I actually do end up landing on the poles because I burn a little early because I'm a little worried because it only has one nuclear engine. And I really don't want to kill a bunch more Kerbals because I already killed 2 today in that plane, which I was talking about something else, so I didn't really mention it. But yeah, those Kerbals died, which isn't great. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. And yeah, now I'm just trying to figure out how to use this flight computer. Well, not figure out how to use it, just kind of figure out where all the information is, because it has some really useful readouts on it, like when you should do your suicide burn and things. Suicide burn has bad connotations. I mean, it's a really efficient way to land, but you're probably gonna die. I guess that's why it's called a suicide burn. I was just wondering that, but yeah, it's because usually you die because you do it like a couple of seconds too late. Anyway, yes, we touched down very gently in this really beautiful part of the moon. I do like the poles, and I'm just gonna start grabbing science, go crazy. I've got all the scientific equipment, and I of course brought a scientist so we can do repeat experiments in other biomes. So yeah, just gonna grab all of the things and do our little seismic thing where we fire up the engine, throw that down into that crater, and we get 92 science from just hauling that in the impact data. Basically, is what that is. But annoyingly, we can't get that because we don't have an antenna. And you can't actually take it out of the thing, and I'm gonna ditch all of that into the atmosphere. So yeah. Anyway, so we're just gonna grab all of the science after planting that flag, taking a surface sample, all that good stuff. And then grab all of this, all of the rest of this data, and then yeah, I'm also going to do the thing where you grab the data from the pod and put it back in, so you can take another crew report. Top tip, tape tip. That's what it is. That's that. Those are more what I call my tips. You know, when it's like a pro tip, but not very good because I said it. But yeah. Let's head on here. I kind of want to dodge this little crater in front of me because it looks dark and terrifying, and I'm pretty sure there are moon monsters in it. And also, you won't be able to see, which is the main thing, because tape cares. Tape cares. Tape cares. I don't really know what I'm saying. It kind of sounded like I was doing some kind of branding thing there. I got an email about from YouTube today, actually, being like, "Hey, you should come to this thing to be the next big YouTube creator. We want passionate creators, and if you win this thing, you get like $2 grand for production equipment." I was like, sick, new PC. But I have to go to London, although I kind of live in London. But not currently, but I'd have to go for like a week and do this course with a bunch of douchey vloggers. And they'll be like, "Don't you just love YouTube?" I'll be like, I have mixed feelings about it. Aren't you so passionate? I mean, not really. I just kind of do stuff, man. But yeah, I kind of want to go just to put a downer on it now. What I'd say is really nice that I got that email. It's like, thanks, YouTube. You think I'm a real person. I will be the next big YouTuber. Oh, God. Oh, God. I hope not. That would be, well, it'd be great because I get loads of money. But, well, depends how big, I guess. I don't really know how big you have to be like rich. Because, like, there's like a split in YouTubers. Either you're really poor or you're a millionaire. Or you're Scott Manley and you're smart and didn't quit your job to do YouTube, which is just so dumb. Unless you're like PewDiePie, I guess. Or Tom Cassell, or Syndicate, but he's obviously making money on the side. You know, bit of gambling. That's a shame, I like Syndicate. But it appears he's, I don't really know, pushing gambling, but again, I don't really care. It's like, I don't care that Jeremy Clarkson punched someone. He was really entertaining and I wish he was still on the BBC. But, yeah. I'm a very selfish person, so anyway, yeah, let's just head back to Cuba now. And we have enough fuel. We probably had enough fuel to go to the northern basin, but yeah, no. Yeah, these I've started doing the penguin thing where you just kind of lose focus and talk about other things in the videos. I think that's just because I do it in City Skylines, and he was like, yeah, that looks kind of fun, probably, and it is. Problem is there's a lot of downtime in KSP. No, I'm just going to grab the science because I'm in orbit. It makes it way easier than if you're on the ground. Yeah, there's a lot of downtime in KSP and a lot of stuff that you've seen before, so I think it's just better if I talk about how I would go and ruin YouTube conferences. I think I should, maybe I will go to that. That'd be great. I could use $2 grand, but I don't think I'd win whatever I have to win because they might kind of not like me very much. It's like, oh, you don't want to be a YouTuber, do you? It's like, no, obviously not. Oh yeah, and there's a weird patched conics that makes it look like the Titan 1 I have heading out into the polar orbit was just in like a weird orbit that would make it hit Kerbin, but it wasn't. So that's And cool story, bro. Could use more dragons and shit. But anyway, the solar panels burn off. Jeb and Rotris look relatively happy. I mean, happy relative. I guess. Well, they're not dead like last time. Yeah, that was a dark day. We lost. I think I lost Bill Kerman. Was it Bill or Bob? I don't really remember. But did I lose Bob? Yeah, I lost Bob in Collaborative Warfare. I think it was Bob Kerman actually, because I think I've lost him twice now in series. But yes, then we touched down gently on the ocean, and we get like 1,000 science from that. And I've been using all my science recently to get bigger rockets and stuff. And I also unlocked mining because Penguin did that really smart thing where he put a miner on his spacecraft so we can just always get science from the moon. I wanted to steal that idea from him today, but I didn't have the mining equipment. So I'm going to steal it from him next episode, I think. I think that makes sense. I've gone to pretty much every biome on Minmus now, so yeah. But anyway, this big plane that I keep launching, this is going to Minmus to be a space station, because they want me to put a station around Minmus, and I am out of rocket launchers, and this will do, because I just put an extra crew cannon there, put some life support, put in a docking port on the front, changed out the front cockpit to be the stock one, because I think it's more heat resistant, and also it has a higher crew capacity, so that's all good. And yeah, we'll head out there for eternity. Yeah, I wonder if anyone pick up on the whole massive humble brag, or it's like, oh yeah, YouTube fucking emailed me and was like, we want you to be a massive creator. But I was like, nah, I'm too hip for you. I just realized how massively humble braggy that sounded. But yeah, it was, because I'm famous now. Yeah, I think on the scale of YouTube, what is it? There's like A-list celebrities, which would be like PewDiePie and Syndicate and KSI. Then I guess probably B-list celebrities, which would be like Nerdcubed and the people with like 3 million-ish subscribers, Boogie to 908. Then I guess C-list would be the people who work for like Machinima and Funhouse and stuff. And then there'd be D-list, which would be like the kind of 100,000 people, the people who are doing really well, but you know, aren't quite there. And then there'd probably be me, which would be, so I'm E-list. I'm an E-list YouTube celebrity. Yeah, fuck yeah! That's really low. I don't think there even is an E-list. And if there is, no one has ever seen it. But anyway, yes, we get into orbit just about. And yeah, everything's good. Just head on to Minmus. We didn't overburn, and we burned all of our liquid fuel NOx dicer, but that's fine because we don't need it to. We're not landing, we're just putting a station on Minmus. But yes, after I plan my maneuver, here we are, getting ready to do it. I think I'm going to take it in 2 parts though, because it's 900 meters per second, and it'll take me like too long, and I'll drift way over the node and stuff, and that'll be really annoying. But yeah, yeah, hopefully it'll go well. I think it will. I've got tons of Delta V. These planes are so useful, although it is pretty much based on the one I sent to Duna, so that's useful. I should watch Matt Lowndes stuff and Turbo Pumped and stuff, because they know what they're doing, and I'm just, I know what I'm doing. I sent a plane to Duna. I'm great. Shut up. I hate you. But yeah, I should. What was he? Yeah, I think he probably sent an SST. Matt Lowndes probably sent an SST out of Duna quite a few times. He does a lot of that stuff. He's very good with single staged orbits, but Turbo Pumped always makes tiny things. Yeah, there's some good channels if you haven't seen them. I imagine you'll have seen Matt Lowndes, but Turbo Pumped I think is slightly smaller than my channel, but he's really good. He does crazy little things. Oh, and Hazardish. All of these people are way better than me. Why are you even watching this? Probably for my dry humor and mad humble brags. But anyway, let's push on. There's our encounter. It went pretty well. We're a little bit above it, but we'll do our inclination change not at our ascending or descending node, because that would be less efficient actually, because they're really close to the planet. So yeah, we're going to do it really far away. It's not perfect, but it's way less Delta V, so victory for Vegeta, I guess. Well, victory for Vegeta? I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I've been emailing for days over that. Emailing for days. That I literally meant emailing for days, not emailing for days. But yeah, over that whole devlog images thing. A lot of good responses. Anyway, yes, we did our inclination change apparently. And here we are, just maybe getting to Minmus. I'm pretty sure I will, but yeah. And then it starts telling me Titan 1's out of life support, and I'm like, what? But this has so much life support. And then I realize it's the other Titan 1, but there's no crew on that. So how can the life support be gone? I don't know. this is getting pretty glitchy. I can't even load games anymore. I tried to load a save the other day, like from the menu, and it crashed. So I've started have to... That's why none of Penguin's craft are in this. I'm just going to start putting them in quick saves. But yes, that is an orbit, and here we are. We're just going to, after a little bit of tweaking, we get our contract for almost 300 Gs, which is pretty nice. And here we are with another Titan 1. That one is apparently out of life support somehow. I think someone snuck aboard, or it's become sentient, or is just jettisoning snacks. But yes, so we need to run the test on La Engine to get all of the money, which will be rather nice. So we'll open up this, and yeah, you can see it's quite a big engine. So we're just going to run test, and that button gets us like 200 grand. So, woo! Money! And we didn't need fuel after all, which is rather good. And it actually has enough Delta V to go to Eve, but I think that might violate the rules if I take it to Eve now. Although what I should have done is just flown it to Eve and be like, oh yeah, we're going to Eve, and then be like, oh, I also brought this in the cargo bay. But it also has no scientific equipment, so it would only really serve to drop into the atmosphere. And then I was like, oh yeah, I have an Eve probe. But anyway, here we are with Icarus 2, flying too close to the sun, our wings practically melting off. Although actually not, it's performing rather well. But yeah, we're going to get into orbit of Moho for a surprisingly little amount of Delta V, under 3,000. I don't know how that happened. I just kind of do things. But yes, and then we're going to go to land and get all of the science in the world. Although it's probably going to be less science in my moon missions, but whatever. And we also get a bunch of money for a bunch of world firsts. We got one for entering the space around Moho, and we'll get one for orbiting, and we'll get one for landing, and we'll get one for sending science. They really like to give us money for world firsts. It'd be really great if that was true in real life. It was just some random corporation who really loved it when people did stuff first. I mean, all you people who comment first would be rich as fuck right now. Oh, I really should be putting first on more of my flags. Anyway, so yeah, I'm first to Moho, by Penguin's rules. Because if he was first on Minmus, then I'm first on Moho. Chronologically, yeah, he's going to be first to Moho, because his Daedalus will get here earlier in the days, but I did this a turn first, so... Yeah, I got a Moho first, so you can have Minmus if I can have Moho, or you can have Moho if I can have Minmus, Penguin. That's our deal. So yeah, I'm obviously first on Moho and Minmus and the moon. Yeah, probably gonna be first to Eve. Penguin will be first to Dres, if you think it even gets to Dres, because it's a really long journey out there. But yeah, so yay, we got to Moho first. Sadly, that doesn't really mean anything because we really need science. But luckily, this probe has a ton of scientific equipment. We already were just sending back some science there, and we're gonna let our we're gonna land first. I get pretty low on fuel, but we do okay. We do fine. We touch down fine. It's got more than enough fuel, and yeah, I'm gonna start collecting impact data and yeah, get all the world first. Record impact data, and then switch to this. And then let it hit the ground, and then once it's hit the ground, we're gonna switch back to our probe, and we'll have gotten like a bunch of science for that, for what do you call it, for the impact data that Interstellar adds. So yeah, here we go. I'm gonna transmit it, but it doesn't work. I actually tried this a bunch of times with a few quick loads, and one time it got halfway through transmitting it, I ran out of power, so it didn't transmit any of it, and then this time it just didn't work, which was kind of annoying. So I lost about 400 science, which would have made this mission like 1,000 science, which would have been great, but now it's like 600, which is fine, but no, it's like 500. Fuck, this was pointless. I should have kept going to the moon. But yeah, so that's really annoying. I guess that's just a mod failure. I blame the mod. But who cares? I landed on Moho first, and Minmus, and the moon, and Kerbin. I don't know. I'm tired. But yeah, we're going to transmit the rest of this data. We get quite a lot of science, and then the other probe will be landing next episode. The Eve probe will be heading off. But yes, we will continue to land on places first, as we tend to do. The moon, Moho, Minmus disputed. Although, if Penguin disputes this, then that means I did land on Minmus first, so that'll make me very happy. But yes, that is that for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it hasn't been too all over the place. I know my commentary has been all over the place, but well, I'm kind of tired, and also, you know, there's a lot of downtime on KSP, and it's fun to talk about random stuff. I think Penguin's videos are quite good when he does that, so yeah, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been KSP with Tape. I will see you next time.